Ayo, what's good, my fellow Final Fantasy fanatics and gacha gamers? Today we are looking at the trial of Ifrit and Bahamut Duos EX1. And of course, Leviathan is dropping tomorrow, so let's get hot! So, recommendations for the Duo EX1 is to bring your best Ice DPS that you have and bring Shiva along with them. Of course, you also need a high potency magic attack debuffing weapon, something like Solid Bazooka, Gold Collar, Mad Minute, and the like. And AoE magic defense is also super important, so Banded Sword, Sleek Collar, or Defender, those will serve you well. An AoE weapon is also very useful for the double stream phase, so something like Electro Cannon is great because not only is it AoE, it also debuffs physical and magical attack by mid potency. Yeah, any AoE weapon will do really well for the stream phase. And then you also want something to buff your physical defense, so AoE would be something like Centipede or Assault Gun, and physical defense if you're struggling specifically with Bahamut's Dive Bomb, and you want to bring something like Defender or Butterfly Edge. And then physical attack decrease is also good for the same reason for the Dive Bomb. It's not necessary, but if you're struggling with Dive Bomb, bring Slick Beetle, Leather Gloves, or Northern Lights. Special shout out to Northern Lights here because it has magic defense and fire resistance R abilities. Take a quick look at the boss details. So Ifrit's obviously weak to ice, and his offensive stats, so physical attack, magical attack, can't be debuffed, so just be aware of that. But Bahamut, on the other hand, he's not weak to any elements, but you can lower his physical and magical attack, and you can lower his physical and magical defense, so he can be debuffed, and that is very important to know, especially his attack offensive stats because of the buffs he gets. So, fight mechanics. At the start of the fight, Ifrit is going to use Heat Up to raise his physical and magical attack, and Bahamut is going to use Flare Aura. That's going to max out his magic attack and max out your magic defense debuff. So what you want to do here is, of course, as soon as possible, debuff Bahamut's magic attack and raise your magic defense so that you can survive the Mega Flare. Obviously, you want to defend the Mega Flare after you've done that. And then they will do double limit. This is where he cleanses himself, so you want to reapply your magic attack down debuffs to him and your magic defense buffs to your party. And then they will cast Crimson Flare soon after that. So you obviously want to defend the Crimson Flare, and the most important thing is be ready, because straight after Crimson Flare they're going to go into their duo stream phase. That's 5 sigils each. And this is where saving your ATB and having an AoE weapon can really be useful. So straight after Crimson Flare is the double limit stream phase. As mentioned, AoE is very good for this. Otherwise, just use your lowest cost ATB to break those stream phases. Straight after the stream phase, Bahamut is going to begin his countdown. And now this is actually where you have quite a lot of free time. You don't necessarily want to rush the Mega Flare bar down because you have that long 5-second countdown. So instead, what you want to do is use the time to heal up, reapply your buffs and debuffs as necessary, and then you want to DPS Ifrit until Bahamut's countdown gets to about 2. And that is when you're going to deplete his bar. Obviously, if you can't deplete it from 2, then start from 3. Yeah, so you deplete his bar and he won't one-shot you. And then soon after that, Ifrit will use Harness Magic. So obviously you want to keep his bar down with Ice DPS. And then you want to defend the Crimson Dive that comes straight afterwards. And that won't do that much damage if you manage to keep Ifrit's bar down to low. After the Crimson Dive, you want to AoE heal and buff yourself, because Bahamut will use Dive Bomb, and this is where if you're struggling with this, you can see who's been targeted, raise the physical defense of the targeted character, and heal up. You can also, if you have time, debuff Bahamut's physical attack so that Dive Bomb doesn't kill you. But you also want to be prepared once again very soon after Dive Bomb. Ifrit will have his own stream phase, and you want to be ready with your lowest cost ATB moves like Ruin, Telluric Fury, whatever, to break his stream phase. And then once you've interrupted Ifrit's stream phase, there's a few different ways the fight can go. Generally, you want to get Ifrit low enough to kill him, but not actually kill him. So get him low enough so you can finish him off with Shiva. You also want to, once Bahamut starts charging his Mega Flare, of course you want to DPS. You also want to debuff him, buff yourself, do all of that you need to do, heal up. And then use Shiva's Limit Break just before his Mega Flare goes off. And then you want to DPS and finish the fight before he gets his Flare Aura and Dark Aura Mega Flare off. So there are, as I said, some alternatives. What you can do, these are all after interrupting Ifrit's stream phase. So what you can do is just straight up kill Ifrit, then debuff Bahamut, buff yourself, heal up, but try as much as you can to hold off on DPS on Bahamut, because if he is low enough, he's going to use Dark Aura and Mega Flare and one-shot your party. But if you hold off on your DPS, you might be able to go through another rotation where he doesn't use Dark Aura. Then you can play out the fight normally according to the steps that I've outlined here and kill him before he gets his Dark Aura enhanced Mega Flare, because that will one-shot your party. The other alternative is one that I used. So after Ifrit's interrupt, you want to keep him alive with just enough HP, and then you want to heal and debuff Bahamut, buff yourself, and DPS Bahamut only, keeping Ifrit alive. Then the Mega Flare comes around. Obviously, you want to have your buffs, debuffs, and then defend that so you can survive it. And then the next steps are to just sort of play out the fight normally, DPS Bahamut as much as possible while still keeping Ifrit alive, and then they should charge Crimson Flare. And then you can either kill both of them, or if you can only kill Ifrit, then the Crimson Flare will change into Mega Flare, and then you can tank that, and then try to finish Bahamut once again before he gets Dark Aura Mega Flare off. Hope that makes sense. For my team, I'm bringing my classic Ice-based Sephiroth, because he's my best Ice DPS. I have a bunch of stat sticks for HP and magic attack, and I have traded off my normal Ice setup for a little bit more HP. So instead of boost Ice Potency level 8, which I usually have, I only have level 7 now, but I have a lot more boost HP. So 11k HP, you need quite a bit to survive here. So level 6 HP, level 7 magic attack, and level 7 Ice Potency, as I mentioned. I'm also bringing Barret as my support. His Electro Armor is pretty useful for the defensive stats, HP, and the defenses. Then Solid Bazooka, of course, for the magic attack debuff, and Electro Cannon for the AoE and the debuffs as well. Other than that, he's got a few stat sticks as well for HP, and his sub-equipment are for HP and fire resistance and some lightning potency. So HP 8, magic attack is pretty low, but yeah, lightning potency 3, and fire resist 3. He's got 12k HP, so he's quite a beast. Matt is my healer. I brought Gigantic Shield, Centipede, and of course Core Defender for the magic defense AoE buff. And then he's got a bunch of stat sticks as well, and for HP and heal and ice, so that he can do some damage as well. Sub-equipment is magic defense and HP focused. So he's got 11k HP, 2k heal, and then here you can see HP level 6, magic defense level 4, heal level 5, and then I also have buff debuff level 3. So, as mentioned in the fight mechanics section, I'm going to more or less follow that. I cast my magic attack debuff basically as soon as it's ready with 4 ATB, because that'll hit by the time Bahamut buffs his magic attack. And then with Matt, I'm using Core Defender to raise my magic defense. So that is the main bit of the start of the fight. Lower Bahamut's magic attack as fast as possible, and raise your magic defense as fast as possible. And you should be able to survive that Mega Flare. Now After this, uses double limit, so you kind of just want to repeat, lower his magic attack, keep your magic defense up, and of course heal. And if you've done this, you've healed up enough and lowered his magic attack enough, then you should survive the Crimson Flare as well. Remember, having about 10k HP is almost mandatory in this part. Boom, and does a ton of damage, but we do survive, which is the important part. Now I start charging my AoE straight after that because I know that the double stream phase is coming. As mentioned, you gotta be ready straight after that Crimson Flare to break this sigils as fast as possible. And this is where AoE helps because yeah, they each have 5 sigils. So there's the interrupt. Use this time to heal up, of course, because you haven't had that chance yet, and do some DPS where you can. Here is where you have, as I mentioned, the most leeway in the fight. Bahamut starts charging Mega Flare. So instead of rushing down this bar, don't panic, just chill, heal yourself up to full, buff yourself if you have buffs, and debuff the enemies if you need to. Mostly Bahamut because Ifrit's offensive stats can't be debuffed. Other than that, just chill off and DPS Ifrit as much as you can. Keep an eye on Bahamut's countdown. When it gets to about 2, maybe 3 if you don't have that much damage, then you want to start depleting his bar. You can see I'm just DPSing Ifrit as much as possible. Countdown hits 2 and then I deplete Bahamut's bar. And then you got to be ready for Harness Magic after that. That's what I said, use the time to heal yourself up and get your debuffs ready, etc, etc. So once the bar for Mega Flare is down, Harness Magic comes through, and this is where you really need to keep Ifrit's bar down. So I'm using all of my limit breaks just so that I can focus on keeping his bar down. The Diamond Dust is going to annihilate that bar, but he's going to still use moves that raise the bar. So just keep on top of it, make his bar as low as possible, preferably completely empty before his Crimson Charge comes off. And Crimson Dive, should I say. See, I'm smashing him with Arf's damage, keeping that bar depleted. And then you should survive the Crimson Dive, but Bahamut will use Dive Bomb pretty much straight after that. So this is where you want to see who's being targeted by it, raise their physical defense if you need to, and lower Bahamut's physical attack this time if you have a weapon for that. Otherwise, just heal them up, raise their physical defense, that should be enough. So if this Dive Bomb, if you're struggling to survive it, that's where you want to bring as much physical defense buffing and physical attack debuffing as you can. Boom, 7k damage, my mat survives, we chillin', and we go on to the next phase. So in my run, here's Ifrit's stream phase. I actually want to keep him alive, because the sooner that he dies, the sooner Bahamut does Dark Aura into Mega Flare, which just wipes your party no matter what. So use your lowest cost ATB spells to break the stream phase, and then basically switch to defensive, heal up, and switch to targeting Bahamut. This is at least the way I did it. You can see his Mega Flares being charged now, so you want to go the normal route, debuff his magic attack, buff your magic defense, heal up, and where you can, just do a bunch of DPS to Bahamut. Keep Ifrit alive if you are following the way I did it. For me, I drop all my limit breaks, and I actually kill Ifrit off here with Shiva, who's basically collateral damage, but I'm focusing Bahamut. that Mega Flare is still charging, so do as much DPS as possible and make sure you survive it with debuffs and heals. This is where it gets scary, because after Ifrit is down, Bahamut is going to use his Dark Aura pretty soon. And when he does that, he gives himself a permanent buff that you can't remove, and then does Mega Flare. There it is, Dark Aura. And then he'll do Mega Flare, and that Mega Flare will one-shot you, so you want to finish the fight before that happens. So don't even worry about buffing your magic defense here, or even healing. Just DPS rush, and you should be able to win the fight. And there it is. So the trick really is to sort of, in my opinion, keep Ifrit alive, so that Bahamut doesn't use his Dark Aura. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.